Welcome to the Chronicles told by the Chronikle, cases of the missing, murdered, and unsolved. I'd like to thank everyone for watching today, and don't forget to head over to thecertifiedchronikle.com where you'll find source information for today's episode. And don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button so you never miss a case. Before we get started, I would like to thank twistedgorilla.com for partnering with me. If you love funny, sarcastic t-shirts and accessories for every occasion, head over to twistedgorilla.com, where a portion of every sale goes to the Diane Fossey International Gorilla Fund. Use code THERORACLE at checkout for 15% off. Once again, that's code THERORACLE at checkout for 15% off. A link will be in the description box below. Let's get started with Chronicle number 22, the Teresa Melissa Dean case. The year was 1999. Y2K had everyone frantic, thinking at midnight technology would cease to exist, and everything would reset, causing chaos. This was also the year of the low-carb diet trend, and eating the garden burger with a low-carb side of veggie fries. Meanwhile, teens were listening to Livin' La Vida Loca and All-Star by Smash Mouth, while trying the latest fashion trends of turtlenecks, capri pants, cardigans, and chokers. Everyone was finding a look that suited them. MySpace was launched, giving way for a social media takeover. In one town, an 11-year-old little girl would never get to see any of these things. One day she was walking to look at puppies when she vanished into thin air and has never been seen to this day. Teresa Melissa Dean was born on September 20th, 1987 in Macon, Georgia, to Dorothy Dean. She was a fun, loving, free-spirited little girl, and in the summer of 1999, Teresa was 11 years old and stood 4 foot 10 inches and weighed 75 pounds. She had brown hair and blue eyes. Teresa also suffered from a speech impediment. She attended Alexander the Ninth Elementary School. Teresa never met a stranger. It was just a friend she didn't know yet. She was often found in the neighborhood and out visiting her neighbors. Teresa was last seen when she left her home around 4 p.m. Teresa told her mom Dorothy she was going to look at some puppies and then head over to her friend's house. She said bye and told her mom she loved her before racing out the door on her adventure for the day. Her mother had no idea this would be the last time she would ever see her daughter again. The area Teresa would vanish from is very wooded and rural. The homes are very far apart. At the time, Teresa was living with her mother, sister, along with Dorothy's fiancé, Cody. When Teresa left that day, they were doing laundry and cooking dinner, and around 8 p.m., a neighbor returning home from the grocery store saw Teresa about 100 yards from her home on Lawrence Street. When Teresa was not home by 9:30, Dorothy and Cody began to search for her. The couple did not have a home phone at the time, and cell phones were not available to everyone in 1999. So at around 11 p.m., when a neighbor who would say that they did not feel the couple were looking for Teresa like they should be, called and alerted the police that they could not locate the little girl. Dorothy would say in an interview she was not aware of who called the police. Police would arrive on the scene shortly after the call was made, and an immediate search of the area was conducted with no sign of Teresa. The family's home was searched and articles of clothing were taken. Both Dorothy and Cody were asked to take polygraphs. Dorothy said she passed. However, Cody failed. Both would blame this on a medical condition of nervousness on Cody's failed polygraph. Cody would also say he was a suspect in Teresa's case. But police, however, never came out and said that to the public. The police would bring in 4 sniffer dogs to track Teresa, and nothing was found. Likewise, cadaver dogs were brought in, and again, no sign of Teresa anywhere. A year later, in 2000, Cody Landers would be charged with 7 counts of child molestation on 2 different females. One was an 11-year-old and the other a 14-year-old. At the time Teresa went missing, she was just 11 years old, and her sister who lived there at the time was 14. Is this just a coincidence that he did this to another set of children the same age as the ones he lived with? It should be noted Teresa's 14-year-old sister would be put into foster care after Teresa vanished. At the time, Dorothy was adamant Cody did nothing to Teresa. She said she called him Daddy, and they had a good relationship. Dorothy and Cody have since split up, and no articles state how she feels since the conviction of her former fiancé. Teresa's case would go cold until 2001, when another 11-year-old girl would vanish in Prattville, Alabama in August. Shannon Polk. Her body would be found on October 6, 2001, in a hunting preserve in Augusta County, Alabama. Then in August of 2003, another 11-year-old little girl would vanish, this time from her home in Northport, Alabama. She was last seen walking to school one morning and just seemingly vanished into thin air. Her remains were found on October 20, 2003, in a rural area by a woman walking on her land. All three cases are very similar. Teresa Dean was on August 15, 1999. Shannon Polk, August 16, 2001. Heaven Lachey Ross, August 14, 2003. All three girls were taken from trailer parks. All were walking alone. They all had a commercial construction site near where they walked. All three locations of the abductions occurred near a major highway that connected to the location of the girls. Police have looked into this, and while they say they cannot rule it out, they do not believe the cases are connected. Teresa's remains have never been found. Police do believe foul play is likely at this point, but cannot rule out that Teresa may still be alive. Dorothy has a different theory on what happened to her daughter that day. She believes someone took her. While she and Cody were out looking for Teresa, she noticed two vehicles parked at an abandoned double-wide. One was a small black car and the other one a truck. She gave no description of the truck. She was recently told in 2000 that others witnessed this small black car, and some stated it had a heavy-set woman driving it. Dorothy believes this woman may have taken her daughter. She also stated, had police not spent so much time looking at her and Cody, they may have been able to find Teresa. No new leads have come in this case. However, detectives have not forgotten about Teresa. They keep a picture and her file handy, in case some new information comes in. Until then, let's do all we can to find this monster and put him or her away forever, and get justice for Teresa. If you have any information on this case, please contact the FBI Macon, Georgia branch at 478-745-1271, or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-843-5678. I would like to thank everyone for watching, and as always, hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure to give this video a share so I can continue helping families of the missing, murdered, and unsolved. As always, this is the Chronikle, signing off.